Sakimu did not believe him, and he left the wise man's house, feeling very angry. He decided to kill all four of the Malam's wives just in case the wise man was right. He poisoned three of his wives, but the fourth one, who was my mother, ran away. She returned to her own village, and Sakimu could not find her. He sent one of his slaves to the village to find her and kill her. The slave went to her village in the night and took her away into the forest. She tried to escape and succeeded, and ran and hid in a cave. My mother did not know where she was, and she was very frightened. She wandered eastwards through the forest, trying to find her home. After some months, she had a baby. I was that baby. I was born in this town, and I was called Al-Haji Imam because the Imam of that town had no child. He named me Imam, hoping that I would become Imam after he died. One day when I was about 12 years old, the Imam came home with tears running down his face. My mother had married him some years ago, and I now called him father. What is the matter, father? I asked. My Sudan, the Emir, has shamed me, replied the Imam. He told me his son was very ill. I said we should get the water of cure, Ruwan Bagaja. Then all would be well. When the Emir heard me say so, he called me a foolish old man. He said that nobody can find the water of cure. It could be anywhere in the world, but I know that it is the only cure for Yarima. I was very angry indeed. The Emir should not call my father a fool. When I got home, I told my mother I was going out into the world. I was going to get some water of cure, Ruwan Bagaja. I was going to show the Emir that my father was not a fool. I took the road to Timbuktu and set off. After I had traveled for some days, I saw a high mountain in the middle of a forest. When I reached the bottom of the mountain, I saw a large cave. There might be some water in that cave, I thought, and I went inside. Soon I heard someone say, "Are you a real person or an evil spirit?" My body shook with fright, but I answered, "I'm a real person." A very old man came up to me. He asked me to tell him my story, so I told him everything. When he heard that I wanted to get some of the water of cure, he shouted loudly and said, "That's impossible, young man." I still shook with alarm, but I thought it was probable that he didn't know what he was talking about. "Who are you? How do you know that it is impossible?" I asked him. He shook his head sadly. "Many people pass this way, but no one can find the water of cure," he answered. "I know, because I have been living here for the past 70 years. He then told me his story, and I discovered that he was my uncle, the Imam's elder brother. I told him who I was, and we were both very happy. He asked me all about my home. I spent 2 days with him, resting and eating fruit. Before I left to continue my travels, I asked him again about Ruwan Bagaja, the water of cure. "The water of cure belongs to evil spirits," he said. "I don't care who it belongs to," I replied. "I must get some of it for the Imam." He addressed me once more. "We'll pray for you," he said. Back into the cave. "God bless you, my son." I, and then he turned and walked. I traveled on for another 70 days, and then I arrived at Timbuktu. I had no food and no money, so I dressed like a wandering traveler and went to the chief of the town. I told him that I was a merchant and that my goods would arrive in 3 days' time. Everyone in Timbuktu thought I was wealthy. The chief gave me food, and I told him that I would sell my cows to him when they arrived. About 3 days later, the chief saw some wandering traders. "Why don't you ask them about your cows?" he said. "They have probably passed them on the road." "Yes, that's a good idea," I said. I went over to the traders and asked them if they had seen any cows on the road. "Yes," they answered. "They will arrive here tomorrow." I knew they weren't my cows because I didn't have any. I asked the chief to give me a bag of money. "You can take the cows in payment,"